2013 was a big year for darts in Australia, with the country hosting its first World Series event, which took place at Sydney's Luna Park. It saw the biggest names in the PDC, including Australian players Simon Whitlock and Paul Nicholson, face off against the best Oceanic players who had not made the move over to the PDC. 2 weeks before this event took place, Whitlock and Nicholson capitalized on the time they had at home by taking part in an exhibition in front of their home fans, which was called the Melbourne Darts Invitational Challenge. It was held at the Victory Room of the Etihad Stadium, and saw Whitlock and Nicholson take on local players before facing each other. This first edition of the exhibition saw just 1,000 people attend, selling out the relatively small room. However, the event capitalized on the growing popularity of televised darts in Australia in the following year by moving the event into the arena. The second event, which took place in 2014, saw over 8,000 fans attend the event, which now featured Michael van Gerwen and Andy Hamilton alongside the top two Australian players. The event also moved dates to take place in early January, so it saw the players make their first appearance since the World Championships, and Michael van Gerwen, who had recently won his first world title, began his walk-on a vehicle and carried the World Championship trophy onto the stage. Van Gerwen showed his class and managed to win the event, beating Whitlock in the final of what was the biggest exhibition of darts in history at the time. The 8,000-strong crowd was fairly rowdy, setting off orange and purple smoke bombs during the games. In addition, thousands of fans raised their chairs above their heads to chants of "Chairs up if you love the darts." Despite this, the event, which took place over 2 days, only saw 8 people ejected on the first night, and a handful on the second night, the majority occurring in the final half hour. No arrests were made, but this showed that the crowd were not the best behaved. Despite this slight chaos, it was announced that the event would return in the following year, remaining in the arena and over 2 days. Whitlock and van Gerwen would return to the tournament, whilst Raymond van Barneveld and James Wade would make their debuts. To try and combat the issues from the year before, the venue brought in an alcohol management plan and was only serving mid-strength beer. However, this clearly did not work well, as before the final of the event began, all hell broke loose. Whilst the bar was closed down at the first sign of trouble, this did not help. At around 8:45, around 50 fans began using table, chairs and cups to create a pile, which according to reports became around 5 by 5 meters big. In this clip, you can hear famous darts MC John McDonald attempting to calm the crowd ahead of the final.
That's it. That's a sure way to... let's get the action on the way, folks. You can't help the odd child, I'm afraid. Let's sit back, relax, and let's get the action right on the way. The final is here.
The throwing of the chairs and tables even continued during the players' walk-ons. Fans then began to play fight and body slam each other over this pile, which was constantly growing. Fans imitated wrestling moves, such as Randy Orton's famous RKO. Many of the plastic tables were warped and broken, and some wooden trestles were broken clean in half. Eventually, when the fans ran out of table and chairs to throw, the arena's 70 security guards attempted to stop the carnage. However, this did not help, as many of the guards were young, nervous, and not sure what they were meant to be doing. The majority of the crowd were unimpressed with the rioters and just wanted to watch the final, which was eventually paused, with the players going off of the stage.
Taking a break at this particular moment because we have a safety issue, it's pretty obvious. So we'll put the house lights up and we'll sort this small problem out for us. To apologise. There's always the odd one or two that will be foolish enough to spoil the night.
At around 8:40, Victoria Police were notified of the incident and sent 40 police officers to the venue. The officers, who had pepper spray and guns, eventually entered and got the situation under control. John McDonald helped try hard to calm down the fans using the microphone. Eventually, people started pulling chairs out of the piles and sitting on them in a sign that they wanted the game to start again. 3 audience members were treated for injuries, whilst 40 of the rioters were kicked out. No arrests were made on the night, but police reviewed the online evidence in the days after. The final eventually got started again, but the fans were muted as the riot police were still in attendance and ready to pounce if anybody raised a chair. Van Gerwen, who was 5-1 and 8-4 down, fought back to win the tournament 9-8 in a last-leg decider. But according to reports, he was unimpressed, with one fan saying that the look on Van Gerwen's face after he won was not a look of victory, but one of pure disgust. A spokesperson for the stadium said that the future of darts at the venue would be reviewed. The darts players and exhibition management said that they were proud of their efforts, but disappointed by what happened. Major Darts returned to Melbourne in 2017 with a World Series event, which was held for 3 straight years. However, darts has not been held at the Etihad Stadium, where the riot took place, since.